music just feels so good. You're on to number one.
Welcome back to the Echo Chamber. You know what it is right here, Triple Threat FM Radio, sponsored by Raise Energy Drinks. Go to www.repsports.com, R-E-P-P sports.com, and use the discount code DJ Echo for 15% off of your purchase. You know what it is. Raise Energy and Echo Entertainment. Raise up and rock out. Raise Energy, 0 carbs, 0 calories, 0 sugar, 100% energy, and absolutely no crash. No crash. All right. Just want to make sure you understand that. No crash. Right now, I have on the phone with me singer-songwriter Jazz Robertson. Jazz, how are you? How are you? How are you?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. How about you?
I'm doing great. Excited. We've had this date booked for almost a month now, so excited to have you with. And we have a special guest in your car, right?
No, he's at home.
Oh, he's at home. Okay. We were just talking about a Shiba Inu. Love those dogs.
Yeah, he's a wild child, so he's at home.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. All right. Well, listen, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's kind of just dive right in. All right. So, you're a singer, really, really good voice. When was like the first time you sang like in a public venue?
You know, funny enough, I really have not done much public performing up until now. I never had a set intention to be a singer-songwriter, to put out anything original, so it's just not something I've ever really pursued up until very recently.
Okay.
So unless you count maybe some bad karaoke bars.
Bad karaoke. Is there really bad karaoke?
Well, yeah, that's the question, I guess. It's all in good fun, though.
Yeah, I think the only bad karaoke is when you don't try. Like, I think karaoke is just, as long as you try, you're gonna get applause, regardless of how good or bad you sound. So, all right. So
sure.
you're fairly new, or you're fairly new to when it comes to public performances.
Definitely both, actually. Collide, it's my debut single, so I just put that out about a little over a month ago now. So it's been a bit of a wild ride this past year. A lot of surprises and a lot of journeys that I was not anticipating presenting themselves, but they have. So
Gotcha. Okay.
we are good.
Right, and we're gonna get into Collide. Love the song. I love the video too. But we don't want to jump the gun, Jazz. We got to get a little bit more information about you. Okay, so give me some artists that you looked up to, musical wise, growing up.
You know, this is always a tough question for me because I feel like I was really raised on such a diverse musical education.
Right.
I really started in classic rock. Some of my earliest memories are just sitting with my dad listening to Pink Floyd all day, or Aerosmith, or the Beatles.
Right.
And so from there, I think as I got older, I gravitated a little bit more towards the like pop punk and emo scene.
Right.
So a lot of My Chemical Romance, Fall Out Boy, very much into that scene for sure.
Okay. So very much on the rock vocal side of it. That's very, I mean, you picked out some pretty amazing names right there, but going back to the 80s, 90s, and then the 2000s. So that's a pretty good library right there to go off of. What made you want to go professional with your music? Collide being your debut single. What was that factor that said, all right, it's time to kind of go and pursue this musical career?
You know, it was really just always kind of a whisper dream, I call it. Not really something that I shout out loud, but it was always kind of there at the back of my mind. And, with the world being what it's been over the last year and a half, 2 years, it was just kind of the prime opportunity. I had been sitting on these songs that I really believed in. I had wanted to start learning production. And I guess I kind of went into it with a why not attitude.
Right. Okay. And that's actually the next question I was going to ask you. 2020 was just, it's one of those years that like worldwide everybody wants to forget. Did 2020 help or hurt your music? And it kind of sounded like it helped it.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. And for a couple of reasons. I think mostly it was the time. I really held myself back from pursuing my own original music for a long time because I didn't know or understand the production side of it.
Right.
I'm very, very hands-on with my music. I like to have a lot of control over it. And so I had these songs that were just, piano vocals, but I never made the time to sit down and learn the production so that I could actually start moving forward with them. So when the lockdown happened, it was just, there were no excuses. There were no distractions.
Right.
I had all of the time in the world to sit down and really start digging into it. And so I think that was a huge push for me. And the second is, I think kind of ties still into the time piece, is I had so much time and opportunity to really be processing a lot of the life experiences that I had never really processed.
Okay.
And I'm grateful to have had a counselor with me, through that journey throughout the year, but it was just, there was no other distractions. I had the ability to sit and pick through different relationships and memories that maybe I had struggled with and just channeled all of it into my music.
Okay. So let's dive into Collide, this being your debut single. When did you start writing it?
Collide, I started writing about 2 years ago now. Okay. Around the fall of 2019 or so.
Okay. And then what the heck? What was it like? What is Collide about? What does it mean to you?
It's definitely a very personal song to me, which is I think part of the reason it took me so long to really move forward with it. It's essentially the relationship that just won't quit. And I think all of us to some degree have that one person, that one relationship that for whatever reason you just kind of got hung up on. And for me, sitting down and writing Collide was really about exploring that. I had just never really grieved it the way that I needed to.
Okay.
And so it was almost a somewhat of a goodbye letter in a way.
Oh, wow, okay.
And being able to just pick through it and say, you know what, this is how I felt, this is how I feel, this is what I went through, and just coming to an acceptance of it.
Okay. Is Collide, let's talk about the video. Who helped direct the video?
So that was Justin Hardman at Colorado Sound Studios. He did an amazing job. I brought him the concept because I had a pretty clear vision of exactly what I wanted to do for the music video. And I just loved working with him. He did an amazing job at taking what I was describing on paper and being able to translate that into a full visual. Yeah,
you can definitely feel the words of the song through the visuals of the video, and I definitely applaud him for not only for being able to translate what you wanted, because sometimes it's tough. Sometimes I've talked about it with other artists. Sometimes the video doesn't push across what the words are about. Sometimes they're either totally off or it just doesn't mesh. It doesn't go together. So I think the video is really, really done well when it comes to pushing across what you wanted with Collide and the words. And is Collide part of a larger project? Is it like a part of an EP coming out? Is it the lead up to a full album?
I wouldn't say it's necessarily part of a larger project as far as putting it in a box such as an EP or an album, but it is the first domino. I am working on a number of other songs right now that I'm planning on essentially releasing as singles kind of sporadically throughout the next year. So which I'm very, very excited about. So it's the domino. It's the one that starts them all.
Gotcha. All right. So when you got to your first official edited and engineered copy of Collide and you got to hear it, how did that feel?
Oh my gosh, it was surreal. It was so crazy because I had put together the entire demo myself. The strings, the drum loop, I wrote all of it. And so I had this moment, it was almost like a little time machine where I went back to this bubble where it was me at my home studio just messing around with some sounds, coming up with this, this little song. And then to get the final mixed and mastered version, it was just like, oh my gosh, what just happened?
Wow.
Is this really mine? This is so crazy.
That's awesome. Like, did you like show it to your friends and your family? Like,
oh yes, yeah. I've been pretty, because especially it's a very vulnerable song.
Right.
I was pretty guarded with who I shared it with, but I know my sister-in-law was a huge piece in that, actually, because she gives me feedback on all the songs that I write. I'll send it to her, but every song that I sent her over the that previous year, she would say, "Oh, that's great, but how's Collide? Are you still working on that?"
Wow.
I was like, "Oh my goodness gracious!" And so that's really what pushed me to just make it happen.
Gotcha.
Was having that support.
Nice. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna book you to do a show. Okay. Give me one artist. Give me one artist that is past, and one artist that is alive today that you would do a show with. Could be anybody. But one alive, one that's passed away.
Oh my goodness. This is a challenging one again, because again, I've never particularly had much interest in live performing. So it's not so. I guess I dream a little bit more about who I could write with.
Okay, then we'll switch it up. All right, so you're writing a song. You're writing a song. Give me two artists who you totally respect their writing skills. One past and one alive.
Let's see. I would say probably past. I would say John Lennon.
Ooh.
I'm a huge Beatles fan. You come over to my home and it's Beatles mania. It's all over the
Beatles
wall.
everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Right.
Oh my gosh. But I just love how his wordplay flows in his songs. It's so clever, so punny, which is really important to me when I'm writing. And then present, I'd probably have to say Ed Sheeran.
Ooh.
I am a massive Ed Sheeran fan.
Right. And it's hard to find anybody that's not. He's pretty good. He's pretty good.
He is. He's incredible. And what I really love about his writing is he's able to take seemingly insignificant daily things and transform them into these deep, meaningful subjects that people just connect to and relate to. And so I have a lot of respect for that. I would love to be a fly on the wall and just watch his process. I'm like, I don't even need to write a song with you yet. Can I just watch?
Just watch him do his thing. That's awesome. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. All right. Give me two quirks or qualities that people don't know about you. Even a talent, something like that. Any two things that people would be like, "Huh, I didn't know that." One of those.
If you asked my family, they would say this isn't obvious, but I think most people don't know I am not a morning person in the least bit.
Gotcha.
I like to say that I don't function in single digits.
Gotcha.
So if it's before 10 or 11, like, it's not happening.
Gotcha. No calls. Don't talk to me. Don't do anything.
Exactly. Unless I'm getting on a plane going somewhere really cool.
Right.
Then I'm good to be up early. But other than that,
all right,
nothing
so
before 10 or 11.
Not a morning person. So that's good. I will make sure, we won't call you before 10 o'clock. All right, so not a morning person. Go ahead.
Yeah, and the second thing, probably really big piece of me too. I'm very outdoorsy.
Okay.
I'm very grateful to live where I do here in Colorado, where we got the mountains right here, and I love hiking. I love being out on a trail. I very much consider myself a very introverted person.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to give me the option of, put me up in a beautiful penthouse in the middle of some big city, or put me in a cabin in the middle of nowhere,
Right.
like that's where I would be. I absolutely love just the quiet silence in the mountains.
Does that help you write?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yes, that would be awesome. Like
Oh,
I
sure.
was just thinking about it, like looking at the Colorado mountains, and just like
Yeah.
just the breeze or the wind and just the crisp air and just writing. Like I think that would be just that's like a perfect atmosphere.
It is, and it's just so quiet.
Mm-hmm.
There's no distractions. I haven't done it in a long time, but I used to take my guitar to some of the shorter trails, and would just go sit at the lake at the end, or the view at the top of the summit, and just write. And I definitely got some good ideas and inspiration from it.
Nice. Now listen, I'm going to go on a limb here and say that myself and many other people listening would love an Instagram TV video of you like playing Collide in the mountains. I think that would be dope. I'm just throwing it out there.
Oh my gosh, that would be so cool.
That would be. Listen, just make sure you let us know. We need to know so that we can all be there for it. I think that would be pretty dope.
Yes, I will tag you for sure.
Awesome. I appreciate that. All right. Shout outs. Shout out the team. Shout out the fam. Shout out your dog, whomever. And then social media info. How can people follow and find you?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, I think first and foremost, I am so grateful for my husband, because he is just an unbelievable person to be so accepting, especially as I'm exploring something like a past relationship.
Right.
The fact that he would be so supportive of that, I'm very grateful. And then Colorado Sound Studios. Oh my goodness gracious. They are unbelievable, incredible. Steve Abedis and Tom Capek were the co-producers who really brought Collide to life, and have helped me explore who I am as an artist. Honestly, I've learned so much about production just being around them. It's been incredible. And as far as social media, yeah, I'm on pretty much everything. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of it is Jazz Robertson Music. So it's jazz just like the music, Robertson Music. And you can find me there on pretty much everything.
All right. And Collide is also streaming on all platforms. It is also available on iTunes. So as soon as this show is done, people, go to iTunes, look up Jazz Robertson, find Collide, and purchase it. All right. Let's support. Okay. Last question. Biggest piece of advice that you live by. And I love this because everybody has something different, and it's always a good nugget for other people. So just the biggest piece of advice that you live by on a daily basis.
Yeah, for sure. I'd say probably one of my biggest values is authenticity, which is ironic because it's something that I struggled with for a really long time, and I think sometimes I still do, but I just think it's so important to own your story, whatever that might be, the good, the bad. And what I've found through that is it's incredible how many people are actually going through something similar that maybe they just were afraid to put words to.
Right.
And I think we can put ourselves in this box where we feel like we're isolated, we're so alone, nobody else is going through this, which is so far from the truth. And so I think that's definitely something that I try and use as a filter when I'm making decisions or when I'm doing things, on a daily basis, is just how is this authentic? Is this true? Is it real?
Wow. Okay. I like that. Well, Jazz, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your talent and your music. Collide, available on all streaming platforms, also available on YouTube. Check out the video. Again, as soon as the show is done, go purchase the song on iTunes. Make sure you support Jazz and her Shiba and her Shiba Inu. All right, he needs dog food to make sure you guys are supporting. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much. What I'm gonna
Thank you so much.
no, it's my total pleasure. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna stop talking, and I want you to introduce the song, however way you'd like. And again, thank you so much. The show is yours.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Well, my name is Jazz Robertson, and this is my debut single, Collide.